Hi, everybody. My name is Maya Tillman, and I'm one of the college advisors that works with the students that are in the Casey Scholars program. And I'm here to talk a little bit about the application process for the Casey Scholars Traditional Scholarship for juniors. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So the Casey Scholars Traditional Scholarship, here's some of the eligibility requirements. So in order to know if you can actually apply, you have to be currently in the 11th grade right now. You can be homeschooled, or you can attend a public, private, or charter school here in the city. These are the 6 eligible counties, which is what makes up the greater Kansas City area. So if you live on the Kansas side, living in Wyandotte or Johnson County, and then if you live on the Missouri side, Cass, Clay, Jackson, or Platte are going to be the counties you have to live in. You have to have at least a 2.5 cumulative GPA. So cumulative is going to be, so including your 9th grade and 10th grade GPAs, or have a 16 composite score on the ACT. So some juniors take the ACT a little bit earlier, or if you've taken the SAT, you have to have at least an 800 on the SAT as well. So one of those things, either GPA or ACT. You don't have to have both. You have to be low or modest income, and modest is kind of like middle income, in order to determine what that income is and where you fall. The number has to be a 12,000 or less for the expected family contribution number. And then that number is what determines the amount of financial aid that a student is eligible for college. And you can find that out by using the College Board EFC calculator, which is linked in the presentation. Another eligibility requirement is that you have to be lawfully present in the U.S., so a U.S. citizen, or DACA applied and approved, or if you are if you have like a resident alien number, or like you're a permanent resident, that can work as well. So you just have to have some proof of residency here in the United States. And then also, students that are already in the program do not automatically get the scholarship or have an advantage while applying. So for those of you that have the Casey Scholar Savings Account that you got in the 9th grade, and then now you're in your junior year of high school, you don't automatically just get the scholarship because you're already in the program. You have to apply just like everyone else, just to make it a fair competition, I guess, within the city. Details of the scholarship itself. So it's up to $10,000 a year, paid directly to the college. So you're not going to get a check for $10,000. That would be a crazy amount of money to give to someone very young. And it's renewable for up to 5 years. So you're looking at $50,000 in total, which is a very big scholarship. Students do not get the funds if they don't use the 5th year college. So most people go to college and they can graduate within 4 years. So if you do graduate in 4 years, they're not going to send you that extra $10,000 that you would have used for a 5th year. It just goes back into the pot for future scholarships. You can use it at any of the 17 partner colleges, which we'll talk about here in a second. And then if you do decide to go to a community college first, you would only get $5,000 to use a year versus the full 10, because community colleges don't cost as much as the 4-year colleges. But that is an option if you wanted to do community college first and then transfer later. In order to keep the scholarship, so you apply now within your junior year. Senior year is when you're actually going to have the money available to you to be sent to the college that you're wanting to go to. You do have to have a required GPA to maintain the scholarship, and then complete whatever graduation requirements are required at your school. So of course, you can't go to college and have this scholarship if you haven't actually completed high school and done all your graduation classes and credits and those types of things first. So you have to make sure you're on track to graduate high school before you can think about getting the scholarship and going on to college. You have to graduate high school at least in spring of 2022 is when most of you all will graduate high school. But if you are just really ambitious and motivated and you graduate high school early in December of this year, 2021, that's okay as well. You just still won't be able to start college until the fall of 2022. So if you graduate high school early, you're not going to get your scholarship if you wanted to start college like in that January of 2022. You do receive advising support while you're in high school. So I am a college advisor, and then there is a team of college advisors across the Kansas City metro area. So you will be working with someone that'll help you with figuring out like what school to apply to, and how scholarships work, how the FAFSA works, and just kind of that whole process. And then once you do get to college, you will be in contact with Casey Scholars staff and someone that's on your college campus that works with Casey Scholars to kind of help you throughout this whole process from high school to college and then through college. And then, like I said, you enroll full time. So you have to enroll full time, which is about 12 credit hours, which is basically like 4 classes. When you get to college, you have to make sure you maintain that full time status. And then, special note, students that are not selected for the traditional scholarship may receive the UMKC only or MU only scholarship instead. So this is a newer part of the program that just started the year before last. So students are selected. There's basically 3 tiers of students. Students that are in that first tier get the traditional scholarship, and you can use that at any of the 17 partner colleges. And then students that are in tier 2 and tier 3 are selected to receive either the UMKC specific scholarship. You can only use it at UMKC, or the Mizzou only, Mizzou only scholarship that you could only use at Mizzou. The amounts are the same, so it's $10,000 a year for up to 5 years, so $50,000 total for both of the scholarships, or all 3 of the scholarships are all the same amount. It'll just depend on which one you get, which will determine where you can use the scholarship. And you can't switch. So if you get UMKC, but you really want to go to Mizzou, you're not able to switch those out at any point in time. So you'll just have to think about that, but you won't know until you apply and go from there. All right, these are the 17 Casey Scholars Network colleges. So most of these are in the Kansas City area or not far from the Kansas City area. So like Rockhurst, Avila, UMKC, those are all right here in town. Mizzou, Lincoln, KU, K-State are a couple hours away, a little bit farther out. UCM is maybe like 45 minutes to an hour out, but these are the choices that you have. These are all great schools. They all have a wide variety of majors and programs. Whatever you're thinking about, you can find it at one of these colleges. And there's just a really, really good range. You can apply to all 17 if you want, or just, the couple that you like, but these are your options. All right, so how to get started? How do you get started with the application itself? So first, what you need to do is determine income eligibility. That'll be one of the first things that it'll ask you once you do create your Casey Scholars application account. So you would do that going to the College Board's website using their EFC calculator, which again is expected family contribution number. And then you're going to use the 2019 tax information from yourself if you've done taxes, or from your parents, most likely that they've done their taxes for 2019. If you need help or any sort of guidance with filling that out, Casey Scholars has their own EFC helpful guide website that you can go to. There's also some additional links later in the presentation. You do have to do 2 personal statements, so basically 2 essays. They have to be between 250 and 750 words each. So 750 is the max, 250 is the minimum. These are the 2 essay questions that you have to answer. So the first one is, what have you learned or observed in the past year that has impacted your desire to attend college, and why should you be selected for this scholarship? So just really think about that question, break it down, maybe write down like an outline first, go from there. And then the second question, after college, how do you plan to contribute to your community and or the broader Kansas City region? Again, write some ideas down, draft it up, and get it out there. Then you also, as part of the application, have to identify and ask 2 people to be your recommender. So the first person has to be a teacher or a counselor, and then the second person can be someone of your choice. So it can be another teacher, another counselor, a pastor, a work supervisor if you have a job. If you do community service, maybe like your community service supervisor, someone of that nature that can really talk about your character and you as a person. So when you get into the application, you just have to type in that person's name and their email, and then they're going to get an email to fill out the recommendation form. So they don't have to write a full letter and mail it, or a full letter and email it, or anything like that. All you have to do is put their name and their email, and then they're going to get a form that tells them what to do and how to submit it. And then recommendation letters are not accepted. So if someone were to try to just write it and mail it to Casey Scholars, they're just probably going to put that in the trash. So don't do that. All right. Dates and deadlines. So the application opened up on January 1st, and then it closes on February 26th at midnight. So you have until, well, at 11:59 p.m. So you have the whole day, February 26th, to go ahead and get that turned in. But highly recommend doing it beforehand and getting started on things early. Doing things at the last minute just puts a lot of pressure on yourself, and you may miss something or type something in incorrectly, and then, you know, that messes up your chances altogether. So make sure you get that done by the deadline, and then the actual awards will be announced on April 30th. So you'll get an email and you'll know whether you've received the scholarship or not. All right, just a few tips on essay writing. So just make sure that you read that question carefully and you really think about what it's asking you. Elaborate on all your responses. So you're writing this essay to a group of strangers, someone that's never met you before. So you want to make sure any sort of like acronyms that you use or something that someone just may not know about, just make sure you elaborate on whatever it is that you're talking about. And then make sure your content flows together. Read it out loud is always a helpful tip to make sure it actually sounds okay to someone reading it. And then have someone look that over. Your English teacher, if you already have a college advisor or counselor, your parents, have someone read the essay first before you submit it, just to make sure it sounds okay and there's no major grammar errors. If you do struggle with grammar, Grammarly is a good website that you can use. It's a tool you download on your computer, and then it'll kind of tell you in real time as you're typing an essay. It'll say, hey, you know, you should change the sentence, or hey, you should think about rearranging the way you said this or something. And then also on our College Advisor website, we do have some essay writing tips and videos that can help you as well. And then remember to save the essay in a Google Doc or save it on your computer so you can use it later for other scholarships. They may have similar questions they may ask you, just because once you do submit the essay to Casey Scholars, there is not a way that you're going to get that back. So if you wanted to use it for something later down the line, there's no way to retrieve that later. So save it now and have it somewhere on your computer. All right, other Casey Scholars scholarship opportunities. So the traditional scholarship is mainly for juniors in high school, but there are other opportunities that Casey Scholars offers that you may not apply to you as a junior, but if you have family members that apply for these other ones, that are eligible for these other ones, and they can apply for those as well. So the College Savings Match program is for current ninth graders. So if you have a younger sibling or cousin or anyone that you know that's a ninth grader, they can apply for this program. A lot of the eligibility is the same. So homeschooled, homeschooled or attending a public, private, or charter school, living in the Kansas City area. The lower modest income is the same, and they just need a 2.5 GPA. Most ninth graders don't take the ACT or SAT, so they just need the GPA requirement. And then this citizenship is a little bit different. So you have to be a US citizen or resident alien with a social security number or ITIN number, which you can ask your parents what that means if you're unsure. And then the details of this is going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be a one-to-one match that won't exceed $1,000. So let's say you put in $500 and then Casey Scholars will match that with an additional $500 to make it $1,000. And then that's going to be the max amount that you can have in there. But you don't have to save that whole amount. You can put $20 in there and Casey Scholars is going to match another $20 and then boom, you got $40, which isn't a ton of money. But if that's all you can put in there, then hey. And then there's an additional $400 that can be earned by completing college milestone activities while you're in high school, which, you know, you'll get to learn more about that later if you get selected to be in the program. And then the money is paid directly to the college in a one-time payment. So it's about $1,400 in total that students can earn with this. So that's just paid one time to the college. And then up to 250 students will be chosen for this program. And then there's at least 250 that's chosen for the traditional scholarship. So it may be more than that, but 250 is the minimum for that one. So pretty good chances of getting it depending on how many people are applying. All right, adult learner scholarship. So this one is great for your parents, or if you have any like older siblings, older cousins, they may have started college but didn't finish for some reason. So they have to be age 24 and up, living in the Kansas City area. low or modest income, and then they have to have previously earned 12 college credits toward an associate or bachelor's degree and then didn't finish. Or if they have an associate's degree now and they want to go back to school to earn their bachelor's degree, they can also be eligible for the scholarship. They have to not be enrolled for this past fall of 2020. So that, depending on if you're already in school now or if you've taken a break from school, and then lawfully present in the US or DACA applied and approved. The details of this scholarship is more similar to the traditional one. So it's $5,000 a year for up to 5 years, paid directly to the college. So that's $25,000 in total for the scholarship, depending on how many years it takes the person to finish their degree. And then the adults can enroll full-time or part-time, depending on what works with their work schedule or their life schedule. The funding for this scholarship will start in fall of 2021, which is going to be this fall of this year. So they would be applying for the scholarship now and then being able to start college as early as this fall. And then up to 200 adults will be chosen for this scholarship. So pretty good range there as well. All right, so just some general resources using the Casey Scholars website. We have an essay writing page on our college advisor website. We have a recommendation letter worksheet that can be filled out. You can give that to your recommender so they can know more about you. And then Casey Scholars has provided a walkthrough video on how to use the EFC calculator, a guide for how to use the EFC calculator, and also a worksheet that you can kind of use and write on as you're going through the EFC calculator. So lots of resources. There's information out there that can help you as you're going through the college or this scholarship application process. And then there's also Zoom office hours that Casey Scholars is offering. So just Q&A if you have any questions about the scholarship, the application, from Mondays from 4 to 6 p.m. And then on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can just go to that link and then you'll be able to get on the Zoom call and ask whatever questions that you have about the scholarship. So in order to get started, you would just go to the Casey Scholars homepage. No, move that over there. Casey Scholars homepage, and over here where it says login/apply, you would click on that and then it will load. And this will be where you would create your account for Casey Scholars. So if you are already in the Casey Scholars program, you will log in with your username and password that you already have because you are already a Casey Scholar. If you are watching this video and you're not currently a Casey Scholar, then you would click on this register button to create an account on the Casey Scholars' website. So this is where you would go. And then once you get into the actual application, it'll have those things that I mentioned, like the essay, and then your eligibility. It'll ask you like, what is your EFC, your expected family contribution number, just to see what your income is. It'll say, what's your GPA, what's your ACT score. So you have to answer those questions in order to finish and submit the application. And then once you're done with everything, you hit submit and boom, you are done with the application. So definitely just go ahead and do the steps to get started that I mentioned earlier. And then once you have those things completed, you can hit submit and then you just wait until April. And then we will all learn who is going to be the next batch of Casey Scholars. So if you have any questions, you can contact Casey Scholars, go on their website to reference the information they have there. Or if you have a college advisor, set up a meeting with your college advisor and they can help you walk through the application or read over your essay for the scholarship. But that's it for me. If you have questions, let us know, and then I'll link the presentation down in the description so that way you can reference it yourself. But thanks for watching and, good luck.